Hello everyone, my name is Grif and today I am here to bring you a tactics video on how to use a Vindicare assassin. Now the thing with the Vindicare that you have to keep in mind is that he is incredibly fragile and very easy to kill first turn for that first blood victory point. Only toughness 4, 2 wounds, his cover save, his invulnerable save of 4 up, and a 6 up feel no pain are all that are there to protect him. Now he does have stealth, so his cover save is improved by 1. But we'll get more on that later in the video. The Vindicare is more of a supporting unit, and I say supporting unit because really with his special sniper rifle, he can only kill one model a turn. So basically, his one rule is that wounds caused by the Vindicare's shooting attacks are always allocated by the Vindicare's controlling player. So let's say you're shooting at a tactical squad who happens to have a missile launcher in there. You would hit, you would wound, and then you get to allocate the wound anywhere you want. In this case, we'll allocate the wound on the missile launcher, so that is pretty much a dead missile launcher, because the AP of this weapon is AP 1. You're not going to get any armor saves against this thing. So that is one of the cool things that the Vindicare Assassin can do. And the other one is that he has 3 different types of special ammunition that he can use that he has to declare at the start of his shooting phase. The first one is that this shot always wounds on a 2+. That is incredible. Let's say that you're shooting at a squad of Wraithguard, for example, who happen to have a Spirit Seer in there. Now, the Spirit Seer is only toughness 3, but when you're shooting at a unit, it goes against the majority toughness, in which case it would be 6. Instead of wounding on a 4 up, you would be wounding on a 2 up, and causing a wound to that Spirit Seer if you elect to shoot at him. Granted, he has a Lookout Sir of 2 up, but this is assuming that his luck is not on his side and he fails it. That is the first of 3 rounds. The second one is any wound from this round is allocated to a model. That model loses any invulnerable saves granted by items of war gear immediately and for the rest of the game. Now, at first glance you'd be thinking, this is a really good shot, but I'm not entirely sure how to utilize this, because if you try shooting at a independent character, an HQ, he would get a 2 up Lookout Sir and possibly ignore the shot. That is true, but think about it this way. There are a lot of big beasties out there that have an invulnerable save from war gear. An example of this would be the Dread Knight, the Riptide, and the Wraith Knight. So you would use this round on either one of those. You would hit because his ballistic skill is really high. Then you would have to roll a 4+ to wound, and when you wound, if that save is not made, then the war gear that is giving that invulnerable save to those monstrous creatures is gone. So let's say you're fighting against Tau, because you're most likely going to see that nowadays, since Tau is one of the top tiered armies, and you see a Riptide. You would shoot at the Riptide, and you have a chance of knocking out his shield, so that would remove his 5 up invulnerable save, which could possibly be a 3 up. Severely neutering that Riptide's survivability, because then the only thing he has is a 2 up armor and feel no pain. And in the games like today, where you see mostly plasma fire going around on the table, then that Riptide is guaranteed to be dead. So then let's take a look at the other ammunition type, which is this shot inflicts 2 wounds, and when you shoot a vehicle, the vehicle, when you're penning the vehicle, it's a 46 armor pen, which is alright. I mean, you can kill things like a Land Raider, and I mean, it's shades of. It's alright. Really, I would just use the Vindicare as a means of killing off key characters, sergeants, what have you, and using him to break any invulnerable saves that could be on the table that you need to have killed. So then let's take a look at how to keep this guy survivable, since he is so fragile. The idea is that you want to put him in ruins, which would be a 4-up cover normally. Then you add his stealth. That would be 3-up. But then here's what I would do. I would bring in a Tech Marine. Now you would be asking, why bring a Tech Marine? He's just 90 points of 1 wound. And you're right. But the Tech Marine's main strength is that he can bolster that ruin, meaning that he increases the cover save granted to anything in that ruin by 1. So those ruins would now grant a 3+ cover save to everything in them. But in the case of the Vindicare Assassin, that's a 2-up cover save. That's one way to keep him alive. Another way is, let's say you have first turn, and there's nothing good to shoot at. But there's a lot of small arms fire on the board. Space Marines, Tau Fire Warriors, Necron Warriors, what have you. And you don't want to give up the first blood that easily. So first turn comes around, and this is assuming that you have it. I would embark him in a vehicle. Specifically, I would embark him in a Chimera. Why a Chimera? Because it has armor value 13 on the front. And the top hatch is a firing point, so you can literally fire anywhere within 360 degrees of that tank without having much of a hindrance and exposing your rear and side armor. That's how I would keep him alive, although I'm very partial to the cover save aspect, because not only are you giving the cover save to the Vindicare Assassin, but anything that you have in that ruin, Grey Knights, Terminators, whatever else, get a 3-up cover save. And in a game where it is dominated by shooting and dominated by plasma fire, that is incredibly important.